has been the leading institution in the world in advancing the conceptual framework that defines informal economy. Okay, the ILO has been working on informal economy since the 70s, and since that period has been developing a lot of instruments, policies that have been instrumental in advancing the understanding of what informal economy means.
Lo primero, no confundir los términos de precariedad con informalidad. La precariedad está presente tanto en economías formales como informales. Y digamos que podríamos hacer un símil de que la precariedad supone contar con algún déficit de trabajo decente en alguno de sus componentes, o porque no haya derecho a sindicalización, o porque no haya derecho a protección social, o porque carezcamos de un salario justo, o porque no tengamos la seguridad en nuestro puesto de trabajo. Cuando hablamos de informalidad, realmente estamos hablando de una realidad absolutamente heterogénea, en donde hay un fuerte componente de fraude, ocultamiento, no acceso a derechos tanto personales como colectivos, a situaciones que escapan de lo que es la lógica del trabajo decente que defiende la OIT.
The informal economy actually is a very important subject for the ILO because, as you may know, the ILO works on promoting decent work for all, and in the informal economy we find more decent work deficits than ever as compared to the formal economy. We are talking about actually more than half of the workforce in the world, and also in the informal economy, is that it is not a matter of developing countries only. We are having more and more, let's say, working conditions that are more informal in developed countries.
And the rural economy is characterized by what you could call the negative aspects of rurality, because there are lots of positive things about rurality too, but the negative aspects of rurality: poor infrastructure, lack of the presence of the rule of law, lack of labour inspections. But it's also characterised, and this is interlinked, by extensive informality, the lack of protected, recognised, regulated work and employment relationships, which not only mean that working people and small producers are often left unprotected as a result of the lack of the rule of law, but also means that the lack of formality of enterprises, most of the rural economy, means that the rural economy is not contributing as much tax to national tax bases as it could if it were formalised, and tax that is needed for national administrations to deliver to rural communities the public services and utilities and infrastructure on which development, equitable, socially just development depends.
Now, we are here talking about addressing the working conditions of millions of people who wants to have formal arrangements, want to have a contract, have their employment benefits, have access to maternity leave, all the normal benefits that one would have as a normal worker. But our economies are not able to create those additional jobs.
Es muy importante, cuando hablamos de informalidad, tener en cuenta que todos los convenios de la OIT son aplicables igualmente para la economía formal como la informal. Hablan de los derechos de los trabajadores y de las trabajadoras. Y por lo tanto tenemos que conseguir encontrar las vías tripartitas, las vías democráticas para garantizar ese acceso a derecho a todos los trabajadores y las trabajadoras.
The other important issue to address here in tackling informal economy is the lack of data. Unfortunately, in developing countries, we don't have data. Without the data, we cannot come up with, let's say, documented policies that can have an impact on the target group that we have here. Adoption during the June 2015 International Labour Conference of a new international labor instrument, a new recommendation on the transition from the informal economy to the formal economy. And this is a recommendation that is called Recommendation 204. What is important to remember in the recommendation is that it is a new instrument, but it's not saying different things as compared to what the ILO has been saying so far in addressing decent work in the world, in the working conditions in general. All of those issues are also being tackled in any other conventions and other instruments, but this new recommendation is just adding a certain layer of understanding better how to address those issues, in the world of work right now.